Yeah, I have a lot. What's going on? We're here live again. It's Azure Radio. Jason Queen is in the building for the photographer. Yes.
Oh, why I have my glasses on? Because I've got a rash on my eye. Right here. You can barely see it, but I'm so conscious. I love that idea. Still my ideas. I am. I love coming here. I love hanging out with my girl Danielle. We have great energy.
Guys. We're gonna start in 1 minute if we go live.
1 minute.
Super excited.
Oh no!
It's
an earthquake.
Oh, right? It's so dark. Oh, there we go. I was like, where's the dark? Hi. Hello.
It's Danaya Designs.
Hello, guys.
We got she has, she wears
So
and
many
makes.
sparkles. So many
Loves
sparkles.
to shine. Baby. Loves to shine. I need headphones. I'm so jealous. Why don't I have headphones?
Because we haven't bought them. Because they're not provided at the school. I just said levels and stuff.
Oh man. Wait, what's that go to?
I can't do this one. This in front of me. So yeah, get this one. I don't know where. Patience. Windy City Underground, your music, your station. And we are here with the fabulous celebrity photographer Jason McQueen is back from New York Fashion Week. How you doing? What's going on? Oh my goodness. So we are live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram because that's what we do here at Azure Radio. Yes.
What's going on?
Oh my gosh, it's been such a crazy month. What's going on with you? Yesterday was amazing.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, the girls killed it. We have our Kentucky fashion show in April, and so we had our Chicago rehearsal yesterday, and our models just completely slayed. They're so amazing. I love Love It Loud Charity because it's not just a fashion show, it's about suicide prevention and anti-bullying, and you saw that yesterday.
Wow.
Just so powerful.
Yesterday, I this is my second year with Sherry in the production. I've known Sherry since 2014, but I didn't know what I was getting into when I first started, and now that I've really gotten into the foundation of this organization, man, it touches so many lives. And yesterday, we got to see firsthand the effects of suicide and how it affects people. And I think that, I really wanted to say this. I know you guys were wanting to know what I was talking about earlier. Me and Miss Dee Dee over here, we got emotional. A mother came in, and she had just suffered a loss of her son to suicide just 6 weeks ago. And the raw emotion poured out, and you could really see the pain and the effects of suicide. And I haven't said much about it. I know that Danielle and Sherry and a few friends know, but I've struggled with suicide in my own life, and I wanted to just dive in. I don't like to sweeten things up because it's still in my heart. But to see how it affected somebody so deeply, and I've never experienced that. I've never experienced where someone has lost someone to suicide, and especially a mother. I couldn't feel it any deeper. Affect you. I know it saw you really emotional.
I broke down. So for those who don't know, because actually everybody doesn't know, because I haven't. I've released it officially on Facebook about 2 weeks ago. No, not even a week ago. Yeah. Because my mom passed on January 20th. Most of you all know that she's been sick. She had colon cancer. That part did not reveal to y'all. She had stage 4 colon cancer, so she just passed on January 20th. We had a memorial on February 23rd. And the reason that I even talked about it is because my cousins all posted, and I was like, really? So, okay, we just gonna post the thing without letting me know? Okay. But I was planning on talking about it on Monday.
I'm just gonna do it and not let you know.
It's because they all came in. My cousins all came in from around the country. I have such an amazing family. They came in from around the country. The minute they found out she was sick, they all booked a flight to come see her. Like, I am truly blessed. Yesterday was incredibly hard for me because both of my parents have attempted suicide on multiple occasions.
I didn't know that.
My uncle died from suicide when I was 10, and I attempted suicide on multiple occasions when I was from 9 to 12. So it was very, very powerful to really see somebody affected. I've had friends that have attempted it. I've had friends that have been cutters and all that kind of stuff, and just but really that was the first time that I saw saw a parent and the pain that they went through. Like, I've heard about it because I have another Facebook friend. His daughter committed suicide not so long ago, and and like you can see, I don't really talk like that, but like you can see this post how much in pain he was, but to see the mother yesterday, it was so emotional for me. Because of that, most people that know me for real, like, know how important my mom was to me and how if I had not had her, I would not be the person that I am today. Like, people asked about the dad, was like, "Are you gonna create that?" I was like, "Y'all just struck now, because this is not gonna happen. Like, we tried it, it's just not. I don't have that gene, so I got the jewelry. Y'all can borrow the dazzlers, but there's not gonna be any more new ones. But it's just more the fact of, for me, I think it's more the fact of knowing what she went through, and knowing what what we've gone through as business owners, and what we've gone through in terms of being creatives, and knowing the fact that people would rather, for me, I'm in this really weird place where I have anger and still grief, but more anger because I know what she went through when it came to people loving the designs but not wanting to purchase them, and choosing to go and find people that have copied the designs and go to them as opposed to going to her. Yeah.
Oh, I've been there.
So I had to be I told my friends, I was like, I have to figure out a way to post this so I don't flip out, because the people that should be commenting aren't. And that's okay though, because y'all just gonna get deleted. That's how that's gonna work. I need to spend some of my time on it anyways.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
So if you've known me over 20 years and we have had no conversation about this, we have a problem.
Right.
So, and that includes family. I have an aunt that had the audacity to comment on my thing. And she's like, I know we're not that close, but I'm like, why would you even say that right now? Like, and first and foremost, I could have just been like, and that's your fault, but we're not even going to go there because I'm not even getting into that. You know what I'm saying?
There's no place for that at this moment.
But why? Why would you even put that energy out there? I know we're not that close, but my condolences. You have my father's number and you have my information. You could have been called me like a year ago.
But you know what I've learned though? You can't hold that against them. You have to be like, you know what?
Exactly. I'm done. I'm good. I'm good. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
That's all. That's it. Because at the end of the day, and I want to share this because I know someone had asked me earlier why I seem like I don't really allow a lot of my problems to bug me, even though I speak about them. That's not how I always was. We have Claire on live, and now Claire is one of the models that
I love Claire. Oh my God, I'm so proud of her.
She says, for me, it struck me so hard yesterday because when I was suicidal, I didn't understand the hurt behind my mother. And it was really, really life-changing to see the impacts firsthand and to see what I thought about putting my mom through. It was so hard to imagine. She is such a strong woman. I hope they both rest in peace, beautiful souls. So yeah, I think that's kind of what hit me. It was that needed to be seen.
Yes.
I feel like that's rare to see, and for kids to realize that, listen, it always gets better, and to choose the wrong path of ending your life, that emotional damage never leaves. No, and I think that's what, you'll heal. No, you don't technically heal, you just have a way of coping or making the hurt less powerful, I guess, within life. I lost my mother to homicide. She was murdered. It wasn't suicide, but still, I lost her to a tragic incident. They're the same thing. It's murder. When you take your own life, you're committing murder against yourself, and that kind of trauma is, man. Anyway, to lighten up the situation. I was thoroughly impressed with how people connected, how people listened.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, and the audition, Speaking of the audition, we have a special guest on his way. Somebody I met, one of Chicago's upcoming models, and I'll introduce him when he gets here. A big shout out to Sherry Gearhart for putting on the entire audition and rehearsals. She is due anytime soon with a little baby Sherry, Miss Gigi.
Yes, Miss Gigi's on her way, y'all. Like it's going down. It's
and Miss Leslie
sure.
Garnett, which is my assistant in coaching, the diva herself. Which I'm gonna take this moment to be a little bit indulgent. March 23rd and 24th, I am bringing my masterclass to Chicago, which will be the first time I've ever done that, and Miss Leslie will be co-coaching with me in Chicago.
Excited. I'm so excited. Like, that's so amazing. You guys work so well together.
We really do.
Like, you really do.
It's hard to find that synergy.
It is, but y'all just got it. It's beautiful. I'm excited to work with y'all this weekend. Like, we're going out to Kentucky.
Oh, yes. Tell them where we're going, girl.
Yes, we are going to Louisville, Kentucky. We have rehearsals for the 3rd annual Kentucky Derby Fashion Show for Live Out Loud charity. Man, every time we go to Kentucky, they have such an amazing spirit. Like, it's just beautiful people. I love the energy down there. Just such a great vibe. Like, Chicago, y'all showed up and showed out yesterday. I was so proud. I'm so proud of everybody in this organization because they truly are there because they care. They truly are there because they have suffered from depression or been bullied before or know somebody who has, and it takes a lot to be able to say that publicly.
Well,
Hey, sorry. You two came in like, Sean, what's good? Hello.
Oh, is there a way to tag me on that?
I'm trying to tag. The thing's acting a fool.
I'm just basically acting. I speak one-on-one sometimes on Facebook, and some of the models from LOLC will hit me up. And one of the things is that we didn't think that you would, really understand what we're going through, because you're this, that, and the third. Is like, baby.
Right.
If anyone understands, it's me. Like, exactly. I've been through bullying. I've learned to maneuver through those emotions, and I think especially with, oh my gosh. Okay, sorry. I just got exclusive news.
What happened?
Luke Perry passed away 30 minutes ago.
Oh my.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my
gosh.
god.
Let me verify this.
I know he was in the hospital. Oh Jesus, no.
Wow, I grew up to him. Let's see.
Oh wow.
On TV, Luke Perry. Wow, rest in peace if this is true.
I know he was in the hospital. Oh wow.
Yep, he passed away. Oh my gosh.
Prayers and condolences go out
Massive stroke, they said.
Yep, I heard about that. Prayers and condolences go out to the family of Luke Perry. My God, like.
But you know what? In death, there's always life.
Yes.
So, my condolences, but you're in a better place now.
Mm-hmm. You ain't gotta do a 45 no more.
Right, shoot.
Yeah.
Steel, honey.
Yes.
I'm a different type of person, y'all. I don't do the whole sadness with death. I praise death because that's a release from this earthly tether.
Yeah, I'm not there yet. I'm
it's a process.
I'm not there yet. I'm not like, people everyone's asking me like, well, how are you doing with this? I'm like, I don't. It's like and it's sad because like I'm trying to like just be strong and stuff, but then it really comes out when I'm like I just get quiet. Like I get to I literally just get quiet, and I know that my energy is different. And I apologize for that, but I don't think y'all understand that like literally who I am is no longer here. So like the person that made me the exact way that I am is no longer here. So it's gonna take a little time for me to get back to the way that I was.
Oh no.
Oh no!
Oh no! The bridges are falling.
But
sorry, my live fans. But something that helped me out. And I still struggle with my best friend Crystal's passing. That has not been something I've been able to heal from.
Right.
But what helps me is that friends or mutual friends or even friends of mine always remind me when I get into this zone, what would Crystal want you to be doing right now? Mm-hmm. Like seriously, what would she do if she sat there and saw you right now physically crying over her? She'd probably slap the taste out of my mouth. Like Crystal was not one to play with. Right. She doesn't want you being sad, depressed. And she always said, if I ever pass away, don't cry. But at the end of the day, you cannot fight the feeling of someone that you're close to or physically we're close to not being there. Yeah.
Yes.
It doesn't matter how many times I tell you, oh, she's here in spirit. You're going to be okay. What would she do? It's different.
it's just different. You know, my mom was one of my biggest supporters, and so even like, and it's so crazy because it's like she passed away like right after her birthday, right after I finished school, and it was like she's just held out long enough for me to see me finish school.
That's awesome.
You know, and like, and it's very sweet because I'm like, you could have held it 2 months, then what you would have seen me walk down the stage, you know, um, but it was time because she had gotten to the point where she just wasn't able to walk. She wasn't able to talk, and so all of that, and so I'm sure that definitely weighed on her. But she lasted a lot longer than we were expecting. I told Sherry, I'm like, because you had her taking classes, that was a huge help, and that prolonged your life a few more months that than we would have had. You know, I think a lot of people kind of forget when it comes to family and friends, like how little time we have,
Yeah.
and how important it is to like, because we're rushing and going, but you have to take out time and I like my last month of school I sacrificed that because I was like my last class I was like I can't keep coming home this late. I got to make sure my mom is fine. I'm like, and I sacrificed it and got a grade, but I still got to see, and you know, which was fine because I got A's and B's and everything else. So hey, you know, for me, like, and it was interesting because I was supposed to come last week, like I just couldn't because I had no energy after doing the memorial, after preparing that memorial and all that. It was so much that had gone on. But
this is still recent, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we had the memorial last week.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like we just had the memorial on the 24th, but she passed on January 20th, and we did that because we wanted to make sure that everybody had the funds to come in and be comfortable. We don't want y'all going broke to come here, you know. So it was good to see my cousins though. My cousins are awesome. They do music and art and just amazing, beautiful.
Amazeballs.
Yeah, I mean, like one of my cousins is an international photographer, like muralist. He does murals around the country. Yeah, he has a mural in England right now that was at the Black Panther premiere. Like, cool, just incredible. My other cousin is a music producer. My other cousin, he's a flight attendant by day, but he's also one of the most amazing vocalists you will ever hear. Like, just super dope. And then two of my cousins are therapists. Like, thank God. That has helped.
I would love to have that myself.
Shout out to Dr. Robbins. Man, jeez Louise. I was like, and what was so crazy, she just right exactly when my mom got sick is when she changed her practice and she went into therapy for cancer patients. So I was like, it was meant for her to do that because she was able for her to, it was easier for her to help me to cope with everything that was going on.
I'm trying to share this with my family. I am still old school, so it's hard for me to like share things.
I got you.
Here. Oh, our model is here. Ooh, okay. Well, I'm gonna have to go get him.
So go ahead and grab him and play this track real quick called Black Diamonds. It's
Black
a beautiful track. And I can't remember the artist because the artist didn't. Okay, yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna see all these artists real quick. Artists, when you send over your MP3s, I need you to make sure that they're tagged properly so we can give you guys a shout out. Like, come on now. We should never have this question of whose music is this, right? But, so this is Black Diamonds. You guys go ahead and listen to this right here on Danaya Azure Radio, Windy City Underground. Get music, get station, let's go.
Lovely. My favorite color is ebony. You say the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. I say the darker the flesh, the deeper the roots. I give my heart to my sisters, dark skin, yeah. No self-care, and don't nobody else care. Yeah, I know they try to be beat you down a lot. It's only because you possess something that they ain't got. A beauty rare, dark and lovely like King Solomon got. You got to dig deep to find one. X marks the spot. You are with treasure, pleasure. I kid you not. Your skin is thick, good tuck and it's Hershey butterscotch. Your way is milky, silky, smooth, whatnot. If this genre of music kind of face, if yours hip hop, black dog.
Hey, let's see what this is in there it goes. I'm like, why was it not accurate? There it goes. This thing is acting up. Really? Now we're gonna. Okay. Your fashion weeks is our prevention, live a lot charity, doing some pretty dope stuff over here. So yeah, just stay tuned. So Jason apparently brought a guest model, so it was pretty awesome. So excited about that. I love new surprise people and all that. So yay, good stuff.
If you think about it, then you'll know why black women are so special. Don't ever walk with your face down. Can you wear in this down? Only ignorance will frown. Knowing true beauty is found in the depths of darkness.
Was good. Yeah, they totally like put out my playlist. Any other joke for that. I was like, all my stuff is independent. What are you doing? Oh, God. That's alright. No worries.
Embodiment of true beauty. Oh, chocolate. Majesty. Yeah. Queen Sheba, she is me. Dedicated daily to all sisters.
Hello. Oh, okay. I heard about you yesterday. Awesome.
Ow! What? I hit like a funny bone on my leg. That's weird.
Look at them, Mike.
Across possession. So
Huh?
hold you with esteem.
Really? Ever? Oh, you don't have fun.
Royalty. Black diamond.
Yeah. We're gonna do the song and then I'll come back. Hey, who is this? Who's over here? Somebody said something. Shush, what's good? Hi, hey, Lucia, hi.
Huh?
In and out, of
I know
course.
this is gone for a second. Asian guys.
Hello, other side of
On the radio.
other side of the party. Yes. We got models in the building, y'all. Ladies, we got models in the building.
Y'all go ahead and follow. Give them your Instagram, bro. Be loud. Joseph.Weatherspoon. We got the one.
What's
the
good?
only.
Hi.
Nice, sure.
What's good? Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Periscope, and Snapchat, and now YouTube. At Danaya, that's DANAYA
Hey. And the one and only Jason McQueen. Follow me on Instagram. Be real, Jason MC. What are y'all up to? Alright, Anthony. I see you, Mr. Atlanta. Big A in the house.
Hey, Tiana in
Share
the
this
house.
with me,
Guys, and then it's gonna go live.
Gotta market yourself, man. Your photo's dead.
You good? No worries. You can share this with YouTube, Facebook. We'll work on that. We work on that. What kind of phone do you have? Do you have charge everything? What?
Well,
Yeah, Megan, it's a piece.
Like in church.
Yeah, she's dope.
Hancock needs to be over a building. Make that house big.
Yeah, that'd be her. Yeah. Shout out to Mary.
Don't steal the money iPhone cord either. I know everybody's shiesty when they see an iPhone cord.
Oh, really?
Everybody in my cord. He ain't gonna notice. He got 3 or 4. No, I have 6.
That's right. Like, I'm still gonna notice. I know how many I got.
Waiting for more children to get here. Oh Lord, Monica, you still babysitting the neighborhood. My girl Monica, I grew up with her in high school, and she's just kind of like the neighborhood mom. Like she just takes care of everyone and feeds everyone. Well, I got presents for everyone. Happy Valentine's Day. Oh, you guys get the last 2. Aw. What's your screen? Come on, baby, please. Yeah. Oh.
Welcome back. This is Danaya, Azure Radio on Windy City Underground, your music, your station. I have the fabulous celebrity photographer and celebrity model coach, Jason McQueen is in the building, and we have a special guest. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Joseph Weatherspoon.
Joseph Weatherspoon. Awesome. So Joseph, so what do you do?
Well, I am a model and I'm an aspiring entrepreneur.
Awesome.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
Very, very cool. So so you're a model. So who have you worked for so far?
So far, just Blake Martin.
Shout out to Blake Martin, my brother here in
Chicago.
Chicago. Chicago's premier model coaches as well.
Yes, he is. Blake Martin is definitely dope. So have you done acting, modeling, right?
Just mostly modeling.
He's still new,
Very cool.
but he's got the look, y'all. If y'all follow him on what is it, Joseph.Weatherspoon on Instagram.
Yep.
Check him out, follow him, comment on some photos. We got some big things happening with him soon. So tell us about your experience yesterday at Live Out Loud Charity. What did you take from it?
Well, I enjoyed it, and I feel like it's important to spread awareness about suicide prevention and anti-bullying. Just the fact that it is an extremely important it's extremely important topics to get into. I feel like a lot of people overlook it, and it's sad that it's a lot of lives being taken.
Come up a little bit closer.
It's a lot of lives being taken from that. And
Have you ever experienced that yourself?
As a kid, I experienced depression and low self-esteem.
Okay.
That's sad. I feel like we all have in some way.
With my confidence.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
Low self-esteem.
I know the ladies loved him because they were talking about him the entire time. He was walking for us yesterday, and them ladies like, what's his name? He's so cute. I had to give them ladies looks. Focus.
Unfortunately, I'm taking them.
Oh.
Oh, he all geeking and stuff. Wherever it is, he blushing.
Oh, awesome.
So, tell us, where do you see yourself in 5 years? What's your goals?
Well, my goal is to actually achieve being a supermodel.
Ooh.
And
Nice. Okay.
starting my businesses.
What
I
kind
want to
of
go
businesses?
into real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Nice.
New York, they're just going to give you the money. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Chicago, I don't know. Chicago's coming up, man.
Chicago's coming up when it
Like
comes to real
fast.
estate. Absolutely. Yep.
This is like a mini New York that's
Yes,
getting on that
yes,
standard. Hi guys
definitely.
on my live. How are y'all?
Definitely. Chicago is definitely coming up when it comes to real estate for sure.
I just wish the modeling would come up a little bit better.
Right.
Well, here's the thing.
The shade.
Here's the thing. Well, everybody needs to come. People need to understand the importance of networking. One, not tearing each other down.
Yeah.
Two, and Chicago is just not there.
It's
Chicago does not get supported by the.
What brings people to the city? New York's been doing it for such a long time, and New York Fashion Week was one of the first fashion weeks in the United States back in the day.
Exactly.
And I think that, again, the history of fashion, the history of the actual fashion shows, the fashion lines, the fashion houses are what a lot of coaches and models need to understand before you begin teaching it.
That part.
Mhm.
That part.
nothing compared to New York.
Really?
Well, actually, there's nothing compared to Milan and Paris. I mean, that's
right, yeah.
to
True,
me, that's
true.
the creme de la creme, and you just kind of go over there and you feel bougie, even if it's a small show. You're just like, oh, I'm in a Paris Fashion Week. But New York Fashion Week's so high energy, so fast paced, and just in one show, whether it's big or small, you can meet so many people that are networking.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
That's why I love about Modeling.
Yeah.
Like, you meet so many different people.
And all creative aspects.
Yes.
You've got makeup artists, hairstylists, producers, press. You've got the press PRs, marketing. You've got owners of businesses, designers, and honestly, this as a modeling coach, this is my biggest advice to give to any model. If you go into a fashion show or even a photo shoot, and you're sitting there on your phone, you're tweeting, you're living, you're streaming, you're chit chatting about anything other than the shoot of the show, then you're not doing your job.
Come on.
Because at the end of the day, you're not there to sit there and just walk a show. You're there to network. Shout out to Isaiah Branch, who was one of our newest signs on IA Models. Every time I take him to a show, every single time, or if he just goes to a show on his own, I'll get several texts. Hey, met this photographer. Hey, met this designer. Hey, met this model.
See?
And he sends that to me. I'll send that to you. I'll be like, hey, this model will look great with you on a shoot. Hey, I need some of your designs to put on this model. And my network gets that network. That network gets that network. Isaiah is a perfect example of someone who works. And also shout out to Fonica Banks because she does it too. And Leslie says, networking is key.
I love Leslie. She's so amazing. We gotta get on the show one day, but she works during the day, so it's kind of crazy. We're gonna do some lives when we're in Kentucky, though. We definitely gotta do some lives together in Kentucky. Yeah,
you need to bring your show to Kentucky. Like do some recording there and bring it back. I think that's what we'll do. Remind me.
That's what we'll do.
Yeah, give you a lip pop.
We'll do not anchor. That's what we'll do. Definitely. So what would you say for you was one of the most touching moments of yesterday?
Most touching? Really not a specific touching moment, but overall everything as far as like anti-bullying and suicide prevention, like having to see that a lot of people going through like actually was in the workup taking their own lives. Is like it's kind of devastating, but it's amazing to see how much they overcame it and they're helping others who are on the verge of doing it, but being able to catch them.
Yeah, seeing the signs. But I think that one thing that I learned yesterday is that you never know. Like, I mean, I know you never know, but you really never know.
You don't. Suicide has no face. Like, people say all the time, like, perfect example was Robin Williams. Nobody, like, that shocked me. I was like, huh?
Yeah.
Because he was so happy all the time. But when people feel like they always have to be on, they're usually hiding something.
Well, I had, we're still not sure, although the signs point to suicide. I lost a cousin a year and a half ago. They found him in the tub, and he had been, passed for some time, like a few hours, and they found a bunch of Ambien in his system mixed with alcohol, which technically would rule suicide, but it was such a weird combination that it could have been like, hey, I don't want to get to sleep, it's not working, I'm going to take some alcohol and take a shower. One thing I know, this is just me, I don't know if this is how it works, but when I go in the shower after I've taken an Adderall, I'm ready to go to sleep. So you add alcohol on top of that,
Yes, right.
But that really made me take a step back because last I checked, he was good, he was happy, he was doing his thing. So, and even me myself, I struggle with it. I call her, sorry, Miss Danaya, I call her quite often just to have someone let me know I'm cool, let me know that I'm all right, and that the stress isn't going to tear me apart. Because especially with more success comes a lot more stress.
Absolutely, yeah. People don't realize the more successful you stress, and I think there's this huge misconception that if you are a celebrity that you asking for all the extra crazy attention. You're not. Once the camera's off, you're expecting to go home and go to sleep and be done. That's not the case anymore. Like, you can't go anywhere. Like, perfect example, one of my friends, Shasta Monasalone, actually interviewed Cardi B on her live, like, randomly, because they were talking. And so, let's go live. So they went live on YouTube. And that was the very first interview that I saw from Cardi B when I was like, wow. Like, she was just herself. There was no crazy, no nothing, no crazy, just just herself, and it was beautiful. I was like, this is the first time I've never seen you not on, and it was awesome.
Like, you know,
Yeah, all that was gone. Like, it was just like, whoa, she's pretty dope. You know what I'm saying? But like, you gotta think about like everything that that they've been pushing her to do and all that kind of stuff. You know, and it's like people don't realize what it is, and when you get to that point, one of the cousin that's an international muralist, he doesn't really, he's known, but he likes his work to be known. He doesn't really like going on camera like that because of that. He's like, I want to be able to go somewhere and he would not know who I am, because one of his friends is an international muralist, and he everywhere they go, they're always stopping him. He's like, I don't want that. I don't want that. I can't. I want to be able to go to the store. Yeah, I want to be able to go to the store and not have people bother me. You know, and that's what people don't realize. That's the drawback of the situation. And no, it's not okay. And people are like, well, if the paparazzi's not following you, then you're not on. Hold on. I don't think you understand. You are literally invading people's spaces and making them feel uncomfortable, and that is not okay. It's one thing when you're doing an interview. It's one thing when you're going to an event. But when you're just trying to go take the garbage out, you don't want 1,000 people in your face.
Yeah.
Who wants that? Like, who wants that? And it's cute for you to be like, well, you know, I want to get that shot. But how much is that shot worth to you?
Well, we can talk about that because it's worth quite some money, and that's why they do it. But I mean, you'll also have the fight on people saying, you know, on the retort on paparazzi. Well, you know, at the end of the day, you leave your house, you're public domain. It doesn't matter what you think at the end of the day. And then you have that fine line where it's like, I don't care. Kanye, perfect example. At first, when he first came out, he was living for the spotlight. Now he can't stand going outside. Yeah. Janet Jackson, that's all she's known. I mean, yeah, you know, it's from Janet though. But that's my girl, that's my diva. Every man has a diva, that's mine. But like, perfect example. I saw her when she came up with the 20YO album at the Virgin Megastore on Times Square when it was still open. Rest in peace, Virgin Megastore. And it was the first time I'd seen a paparazzi pit created where there was at least 60 to 70 photographers in a confined space, all with flashes, going off at such a rate, all anyone saw was blue. Janet,
my gosh,
no blinks, just hi, how are you? Thank you so much. No blinks whatsoever. And she lives for it. Like it's not like she wants it, but that's her life.
Yeah.
When you're born into it, that's what you know. But like cousin, he started doing murals, starting to get more popular, more famous, celebrities starting to know him. It's not something he's used to, and it's not something he likes or wants to know. Like every time I do a gallery, I don't put my face in it. The majority of my art contains African American, Latino, males, or females because I'm tired of seeing whitewashed galleries and art. And so most people think like I'm an African American man, and I'm like, no, I'm not. And it doesn't. I don't have to be African American to appreciate art. Exactly. I don't have to be Latino to understand the culture.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the biggest issues right in today's society is that well, you're white, you don't know. You're right, I'll never know what it's like to be a black man in America. I'll never know what it's like to be a Latin man, but I can understand your plight because I'm a gay white man in America who has dated primarily African American men.
Yes.
That doesn't mean
yeah.
that I know what it's like to go to a store and be African American and be treated differently. But as a visual person, I can see it happening and I can understand because I've been bullied and beat my whole life because I'm gay. Exactly. It's the same, but it's not the same. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Like, and I always get frustrated when it comes to I love my people, but I need them to get it together because, like, especially when it comes to like when it comes to the rainbow community, there's a misconception that it's like you have to do either or. I don't know what these people doing.
There's some rumbling going on in the studio. I was like, oh my gosh, WWE.
Right. I'm like, I don't know what y'all doing now.
Ooh.
Just don't break the mirrors. Just don't break the windows.
Right, sorry.
I didn't know I'm talking. But like, you know, it's crazy because there's this misconception that you have to choose. Are you gonna be black or are you gonna be gay? Like, and especially like I feel sorry for African American rainbow community women and men because it's like they're stuck right in the middle.
Oh,
like
no, they're not. No, they're not. And I'll tell you why. They're stuck on a whole nother friends, and when we have these deep conversations, they're like, I cannot go hang out with a straight man because he's gonna be labeled as gay, and he can't hang out with a gay man or he's gonna have a stigma put on him. And as an African American man in today's society, that's the worst thing you could have because not only is your family but your church and your friends are all gonna judge you.
Right.
When it's like a white man, it's like whatever, gay, not gay. Of course, you go south of the belt, it's everybody, but you know, you already have a plight today of being born an African American person in a racial binded society with this jerk of a president that we have. You add the stigma of being gay onto it, you're doubling your plight. Actually, true, you're okay with that.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
If he was a gay man and walked
Absolutely.
out today acting the way he is, he probably wouldn't have much of an issue. I mean, he would in certain areas,
Right.
but if he walked around saying, girl this, girl that, yes, honey, he would be a target depending on what area he's in.
Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And that's the issue that we're holding today when it comes to African American gay men. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. You should love them, cherish them.
Yes.
They are
Yes.
parts
Right.
of a human society.
Yes.
That's just me.
I grew up in the rainbow community. I have several family members that are part of the rainbow community. So I know nothing to see here. Y'all lost your mind. So I didn't go to.
But I left religion specifically for the fact that they always find some way of making someone bad about something.
Agreed.
And
Agreed.
in my
Yes.
experience, okay, so this is for those who are open-minded. I was told by a friend of mine to go to this little thing. I'm not exactly sure what we went to, but it was some kind of like prophet who's not necessarily religious or biblical, but she's spiritual and she believes in all religions, believing in the same thing.
Okay.
But she said, you know, before you go believing in any Bible, any Quran, any I Ching, or whatever it is that you read, think about the first time that you learned any religion. When was religion first introduced to you as a human being? And you think about it, the majority of the answer is, when I was conscious of being human.
Yep.
You know?
Right.
Okay,
Yes.
well, what if I told you I didn't give you a Bible, I gave you the 7 Harry Potter books, and I said people aren't going to believe that this is true and that this is fake and this is science fiction, but what if I told you this really happened hundreds of years ago, blah, blah,
Right.
and I taught you that from a child? Would you believe in Harry Potter? Probably, and you would tell everyone else, well, you're not right because you don't believe in magic. So at the end of the day, if you were raised that way, in my opinion, I really don't have anything to talk to you about because you have a controlled mind. I broke free of that, and I'm very concise on what I believe in, and I don't trash or disrespect other people, which is where my point is.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
If you're a Muslim, assalamu alaikum, my friend. I love you and I respect you and I care for you and I respect your religion. If you're Christian, praise the Lord. If you're a witch, blessed be. I don't care. I only
Right.
care that whatever you believe in is a positive and loving God
Yes.
or
Yes.
universal
Right.
spirit.
Yes. Absolutely. You know, and that's my biggest problem when it comes to organized religion is the fact that they're so incredibly judgmental, especially Catholics. And like, I'm confused, but you going ahead and you are just transferring your priests to other churches as opposed to kicking them out. I'm confused at how you talk about anybody else,
Mhm.
and you're allowing this to continue. You have been allowing it to the molestation of children to continue for years, but you want to judge somebody else. What? I'm confused on how this
You
is
opening
going
a
on.
can
I'm
of beans,
ready?
girl.
No.
Because I mean, look at the news now. Almost every single preacher that's mostly homophobic
Yeah.
has been homosexual,
Yes.
Mhm.
Ooh.
pornographic.
Which, mhm.
What's the word? Pedophilic,
Yes,
or
yes.
literally having 4 or 5 side pieces
Yes,
of men in the
yes.
audience while the first lady's sitting there
Yes.
like, well, we had unprotected sex
Speaking,
last night.
yes.
Like,
Oh, speaking of, let me bust the myth real quick. So there's a misconception that people are trying to add up the word P to the LGBTQ.
child.
Okay, that is one. That's not true, and two, even if it was, it would be for pansexual, not pedophilia. Let's be very clear. I don't know where that came from. I don't know why y'all trying to sit
Well,
here
here's
and
my
say
thing
that
as a gay man. Stop adding letters, damn it. Like,
Rainbow. That's why I said rainbow because I'm so confused.
I'm so over that.
I'm so
Like,
confused.
you are a trans woman or a trans man, and you have transferred into transitioned into the sex that you are. Then you are that.
That's
There's
it.
no,
Oh.
we don't have to define and add stuff like that. If you're a woman and you were born a man in your mind and your soul and your body, and that's who you believe you are, and you transition, you are now a man,
That's it.
sweetheart.
Boom.
There's no other anecdotes that needs to be known. And if you're adding that because of a sexual partner wanting to know if you are really a man, but that's just kind of contradicting what a trans person is.
Exactly.
And I'm just learning all this. Like I'm
know.
up there. I'm not gonna say my age. But what I'm saying is I'm just learning the fact that, you know, what cis means. I mean, why is cis even a thing? Like, I don't get it. I don't. By 20 years from now, it's gonna be LGBTQ, A, B, C, D, F, G, Z, Z, 4,
Seriously,
Q,
yeah.
4, 5, 8, sign,
Yeah.
pi sign, print sign, like.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. That's why I just say rainbow. Makes it clear, concise,
A
done.
bleeding rainbow.
Done. Shout out to LeVar Burton for that one too. But like, you know, and it's sad because There's so many amazing people that are in the rainbow community, and a lot of, unfortunately, African Americans will not realize, will never find out because their church has told them that they're bad and this and the third. And I'm just like, come on, dude, like I cannot.
Well, I think my sadness comes from knowing that there's so many people that are living a lie in their life because they're being controlled by the Bible or they're being controlled by the Quran.
Yes.
And that's not who they truly are. Now, by that I mean there are people who are genuinely straight and genuinely religious and genuinely believe that, and that's not what I'm speaking about. So don't be offended if you feel that way. If you are being offended, 9 times out of 10, there's something in you that I'm speaking on.
Agreed.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
What about you? Have you experienced any kind of things like that, prejudice, racism in your life? And if so, how does that affect you? And especially being from the Chicago area, what is your perception on things like that in your life?
Well, I did experience racism. I remember I was walking in the alley with a group of friends, and police had pulled us over, just expecting us to have weed on us. Like, I find that really, like,
You could tell the
just-
difference.
you just think that okay, we was on our way to play some basketball,
Mm-hmm.
and you just stop us for just thinking we got some weed on us.
Oh, CPD. Oh, CPD. Jeez.
Oh, NYPD. Oh, LAPD. Every PD.
Well, they've actually called us the most corrupt, and I believe it.
Well, Jesse Smollett and...
Hold on, wait a minute. Oh,
At least you know Jesse Smollett,
no, because
that's
did
still
you hear?
fresh.
Did,
Oh,
no,
I've heard up
did-
and down, left and right,
No.
yes and no.
No, but don't say. Did you hear what actually happened though? In
Well,
terms of the fact that he
I-
did get jumped, but it wasn't his fault.
Yeah, no, I read that. But at the end of the day, it's like there's truth in both somehow.
Yeah.
There's a fine line because I mean, at the end of the day, if you were really, 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 really that innocent, Jesse, and I have some beef with Jesse, which I'll get into in a second, then why didn't you hand over your phone? If
He
you have
did.
nothing,
No, he
he
didn't.
didn't. At first, he didn't. He didn't. He wouldn't let them touch his phone.
They could.
No, and then they were like, "Oh, you need to unlock ABCD." He's like, "No, you're not getting that. Why do you need that? That's my personal stuff." Which probably means he was, having some pictures in there. But I don't care. You're gonna see everything. I'm like, don't swipe left and right. But here's, But
Yeah.
my thing is like, come on, bro. Like, you have to be cooperative if people are gonna believe you. But then, of course, there's corrupt things. People like, oh, he's a celebrity. This will be a great time for the police department to shine. It could probably what would happen. But
Yeah, it's tricky because from the last thing that I heard was the fact of the guys, but and I understand it too because the guys are Nigerian and that country specifically is homophobic.
yeah.
Like that whole country, something. There are sections that aren't, but there's something about that country. And I heard a lot of Africa is homophobic, which I'm like, seriously, like really, y'all? But and so apparently what happened was that there were people on the set that were telling him, maybe this isn't a good idea, but I'm sure he was probably just thinking like, well, maybe I can change their minds, kind of a deal, And it's just, and it's sad because the way that it was pushed out there, the fact that from the minute that it was even announced, the media was like, oh, that it was alleged as opposed to just saying hate crime. That was the first thing that was alleged, and I'm like, you were trying to find something wrong from jump, and that's where my issue was.
That I do understand.
That is where my problem was, and so when it came back, and they're like yes, he knew the people, yes, he gave them a check for training, and that's exactly what he said. That's what it says in the messages, and they're like, yeah, they set him up. I'm like, I believe that, and I believe.
My friend says, what's your beef? So my beef is this, and it's gonna be very quick. I went to go see him and actually shoot a performance he had in DC at SOB Lounge, which I'll never ever ever attend to, and I will publicly state that it's the worst place I've ever been to in my life for a venue.
Wow.
I was told I could have a press pass, which I never got. I had a ticket. I was right next to the stage. I've been sitting there for an hour and a half waiting on him. They had Eden's Crush perform beforehand, which I got to shoot. And then these privileged white girls, very privileged, sat to a table behind me and complained that I was photographing in front of them. So the owner of the establishment told me to leave. Not only did he tell me to leave, he got security to move me, which bumped my lens, which didn't destroy it, but at the end of the day, if it did, I'd been SOL. So I had to move all the way back. Mind you, I'd waited an hour and a half. I told Jesse's team, his road manager, and some other guy who claimed to be a stylist, which I know he wasn't. His road manager said he would tell and fix this situation. I'd be up. Ended up not happening. Jesse
Wow.
was late for like 10, 20 minutes or something, and I ended up leaving the venue, tweeting about it, tweeting to Jesse's road manager and his
Oh
management.
That is
wow.
insane.
They read it, they never responded, and I'm like, at the end of the day,
Yeah.
I was there, took a day off to help you guys.
Mm.
It's just common courtesy. One of y'all could have reached out because
I
I saw
agree.
all
I
three of
agree.
you read the tweet, and I know
I
you're
agree.
busy, but when there's an issue, it doesn't matter what
What-
business you are in.
Agreed.
It is
Yeah.
common courtesy to be like, hey,
Oh,
so
that's
sorry about
the
the situation.
situation.
I'll be
Yeah.
in New York next week. Let's get
Yeah.
you. Let's take care of you. And then that
Yeah.
would have been fine. So that's my beef, Jesse. You owe me, bro. Shoot. But let's get a little bit lighter, girl. What's going on?
Oh my
What's
god,
next?
wait a minute, what's going on? You got New York Fashion Week, like tell
Oh,
us about that.
Fashion Week.
Like
Wow.
OMG, guys.
So let's talk. It's been a while since I talked to you. By the way, thank you so much for having me on the show. I love coming here. I get to just be open and free and talk about anything, which
Yes,
is great.
and we got more time than we got 2 hours.
Oh yeah, last time we only had
Yes.
20 minutes. Now we have an entire 2 hours. So
Yes.
New York Fashion Week this year was amazing. I got to go to a few shows. I ran 3 shows, and I was really, really happy. The agency I worked with, of course, we've been up for 1 year now. Shout out to iamanagement.org,
Yes.
which is now we've transferred into IA Models. IA Management was kind of our startup. Now we are now officially and permanently IA Models NYC.
Awesome. Oh my god, awesome. Yes.
So we had maybe 3 or 4 models in show. This time all of our models were working, with the exception of maybe 2 that were kind of out of state. But I got to run 3 shows, which were amazing. The Walk Fashion Show. Shout out to the Walk Fashion Show family. Thank you so much for always showing me love and always being amazing. I develop you. I find out where your cracks in the pavement are. I seal them up. I repackage you to work in high fashion or catalog, commercial, whatever it is that you're going to shine. And then it's up to you.
Oh,
Like,
that's so awesome.
I felt fulfilled, and they made me
Yeah.
proud like a big brother. Like, oh,
Yeah,
let's go.
but I think that's what's so dope. Like, you know, shout out to Jessie. Jessie killed me after we got out of the shots, and like to know that I'm working with her for like 4 years now, just to see her
Hello, sister.
flourish. Oh my gosh, looking fabulous, doing her thing. You know, so there's so many amazing models that I work with the LLC, and to see them doing New York Fashion Week, doing all these commercials, doing television, just it's dope. And to know that these young girls are the same ones that were getting bullied and were
Oh, baby.
yes, you know, but the way that happened was because they had to support a family, whether it be in their blood family or the LLC family. And I know that Jessie was definitely affected by what you told her in New York.
What
You know
did I tell
mean?
her?
Like
You know,
there were
I had that
so many things.
Oh, that's right. We had so Jessie Torres is one of our good models. She's really busted her butt on trying to get her name out there, and now it's finally come to fruition. And I consider her a little sister. She's really, really, really been dedicated to her craft, and she came up last year. So yeah, I told her a lot though. It was other people.
Yes.
Let's see. The sign says a long one here. I am in modeling and acting in commercial school, and I need to work for you, but I look very. Send me an inbox via Facebook, and I want to work professionally. Well, first of all, you need to DM me. Proper grammar, my friend. I'm
Right.
always about proper grammar. Anthony, you're a dope. Also, Anthony Green. Anthony Green's boo thing. I want to shout out her. She makes a completely natural and organic skin conditioning line.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And let me find it while we talk, because I don't want to say the wrong thing. I always forget. Y'all know my memory is shot. If you get to know me, I have forgotten my name. I have forgotten my own date. Hold on. Condition Me Body Butter _ on Instagram. That's where you can go find her.
Nice. Okay.
She has an argan oil based one and a peppermint based one.
Ooh,
Peppermint based one
that
I
sounds
use when I'm
so
like
good.
stuffy. I'll put it in the shower, I'll put it all over, and I'll just kind of like sit on it, and it's like, oh.
And she's in New York, or she's in Chicago?
She's based in Atlanta.
Okay, Atlanta. Okay.
Yeah, so if you come to my shops, my workshops, you get a little free sample of Hermetics.
Yes.
I do want to talk about this. Okay, I really want to talk about this because this was a big. Ooh, why is it on my Instagram? The things that are popping up on my Instagram are ridiculous. I'm gonna go to reply that. So Joelle Phillips, school with for photography, and she got her bachelor's in photography with me, and she went into makeup artistry, started getting some celebrity clients, and noticed there was a gap, especially in the African American skin division, where there's makeup for African American skin, but there's certain products that just don't mesh well with African American skin. So she took it upon her vegan, oil-free, and oil-free with the exception of essential oils. Paraben-free and alcohol-free product called OMGLO, and it is and highlight the skin. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because only months after she released her highlighting spray, MAC Makeup all of a sudden comes out with a highlighting spray.
I remember, yes.
I'm walking by MAC and I'm like, that looks oddly familiar. So I had to try it on me. It smells awfully familiar. So I send it to her. Essence gets a hold of this. Essence writes a article about how primarily white-based companies are not it.
Yes.
So I do want to shout out to any African American woman who is producing stuff. Keep your stuff on lock. Copyright that stuff.
Yeah.
Get your rights on that stuff. So if anyone take it, you sue the living pants off of them.
Yes.
By the way, she just came out with a serum. Now this stuff is absolutely amazing, and I stress everyone to use it, especially if you're in the photography field, if you're in a modeling field, acting field. It really helps your face and skin shine and glow in the camera. Her first line, the incredible line, is like a Puerto Rican sheen shine type deal, but it's not the kind of highlight that's going to make you look like you got blasted with a gold dust. It's literally just a small pigment with a highlighting spray. So she's coming out with a serum now where you can use it as like a setting, I believe. So check out OMGLO Cosmetics if you have time, guys, and definitely support Black businesses in the area.
Yes.
She's Philly-based, but she's everywhere, and she's touring this year on different conventions. I think the Makeup Show New York and IMATS.
That's amazing. Yeah, it was so funny. We had a fashion show here, and one of my makeup artist, Kayla, she had OMGL. I was like,